Charles. In 1995, I was arrested for a nonviolent drug offense. In 1996, I received a 35-year sentence for that nonviolent drug offense.
Both my sons struggled with substance use disorders for decades, and our family experienced not only the nightmare of addiction and incarceration, but also the devastation of stigma and shame.
I know what it was like to be incarcerated at a very young age of 15 and basically grow up in the adult prison system.
I was thrown in solitary confinement multiple times, a total of 7 years.
I came from the same background of being incarcerated. As a young kid, I was locked up when I was 16. Eventually I got out when I was 27, and that pursued me to help my brothers and sisters that are still locked up.
Some of the messages that we try to instill in our youth and those who are struggling within the current system is that you are not hopeless. They are redeemable. They do have the capacity to mature and change, and we are there to help them to understand that there is hope. And so it's through our policies, it's through our work, it's through the examples of those of us who have been through the system to encourage those who are currently going through it that we haven't forgotten about you.
There was a lot of times when people in the inside showed us that compassion. You know, it was some of those POs that really cared about me in general, you know, or us in general.
I'm the man that I am today because I have a very resilient spirit, and I refuse to allow that system to break me or define me. And that spirit was cultivated and nurtured by men who were dying in prison. And they showed me mercy and compassion and empathy because they saw something in me that was redeemable, and they fought hard to ensure that I had the tools and the skill set that I needed to get out and impact the community in the way that I do now.
We're actually humanizing some of the folks that are inside. So part of it is not exploiting people. You know, part of it is not creating stories or dialogue that's gonna exploit somebody.
Where you're making decisions, you can't think about just a moment, you have to think about the larger picture, right? If you can look at another person and acknowledge their humanity, then it's easier for you to extend your hand to them and lift them up when they've fallen down. And I think the pathway toward creating that empathy is by how we even identify those men and women who are incarcerated. I don't refer to men and women in prison as prisoners, offenders, inmates, or whatever other names that they choose to call them, because those identifiers strips them of their humanity. You know, there are mothers in there, there's fathers in there, there's grandmothers in there, grandfathers, there are sons, daughters, there's aunties, uncles, friends, you know, it's all type of people in prison.
I was raised to have an open heart, to have compassion for everyone, and to see everyone as deserving of a second chance. We are part of a supposedly free society. We have to do better. It is our obligation and our responsibility as humans to believe in the potential for growth and change, and to see ourselves as a source of compassion.
I believe in redemption, that every human being is redeemable. I believe in showing mercy, and I believe in second chances. And it's because I was given a second chance that I've been able to have this platform to speak about criminal justice reform and the need for more of it.
For me, it's really become profound where I believe that everybody in our society makes mistakes. The mistakes vary in terms of the magnitude of them. The consequences are, in many cases, highly variable based on the position and privilege of the person who makes a mistake. And generally speaking, every human being should have a chance for redemption, and every human being should have a chance to have a second chance.
We are the 100% of people who make mistakes.
The 100% of people who deserve respect,
dignity, and fairness.
We need healthy, thriving communities that empower.
More than prisons and jails that punish.
Because we believe that making mistakes does not make you unworthy of second chances.